What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a good old look at the final two leaders that are coming around in OP-10. We've been waiting, they're finally here, and I'm going to be honest with you, right? In yesterday's video, I showed you the new Jewelry Bonnie promo card, and I told you that it's basically a yellow card that only works for Supernovas, right? Go check out the video if you haven't already. And I said, look, well, the only Supernova we've really got right now, in yellow, the leader at least, is the Luffy from Starter Deck 13. And I don't think the Luffy in Starter Deck 13 is going to play this. Maybe in the future, we will get ourselves another yellow Supernova leader. I just don't know when it's going to happen. Yeah, we got two. We literally got two yellow Supernova leaders almost as soon as I said that in the video. So, I don't know, let's start off with the one that's all yellow. Let's start off with Eustace Captain Kidd. And what we've got here is a mono yellow leader, 5,000 power, 5 life. And we've got a skill whereby at the end of your turn, you may turn the top card of your life face up. We know from rulings in the past into that leader, if the top card of your life is face up, you can't turn it face up and therefore use this skill. We've seen that a bunch. And you set up to one of your 3 to 8 cost characters with the Supernova type active, and they gain blocker until the end of your opponent's next turn. So basically at the end of your turn, when it's too late to be attacking, you get to activate one of your Supernova characters and give them blocker, which could then just give you a really good blocker on your opponent's turn, or could actually protect one of your cards, the theory essentially being that if they're active, they cannot be targeted to be attacked, because you can generally only attack rested characters. That's the theory, right? That's generally what we're looking for here, and you're like, okay, yeah, that kind of makes perfect sense. I can get on board with that. It seems like a pretty good skill, honestly, here. Being able to activate a character, being able to give them blocker. It is mono yellow, which restricts your options a little bit, but this seems kind of fun. Now, of course, one of the things I need to point out here, as I've pointed out before, but this is very important, we're going to get some yellow Supernovas in this set. Like, we have to. I've just shown you, well, I've shown you one yellow Supernova leader. We're in a minute going to talk about the other yellow Supernova leader. And there is absolutely no way whatsoever that we get 2 yellow Supernova leaders and we don't get any yellow Supernova characters. That's dumb and unrealistic and frankly not going to happen. Okay? Cool. So then the question becomes, how good can this actually be? And the answer is, right now, we don't really know. Because remember, the skill I told you, it is a 3 to 8 cost Supernova character. So we're not looking at this as a general yellow leader. We are talking about this as a, how are we going to make the most specifically out of yellow Supernova characters? Because the skill only works for Supernova, the leader is mono yellow, so we have to go for yellow Supernova characters. And I showed you the promo Bonnie the other day and told you I was frankly not that impressed. And up till now, most of the Supernovas we've seen have been green. Now, I will say the 5-cost Luffy from Starter Deck 13 is a pretty good card and is a yellow Supernova character. That is a fact. That might be the only yellow Supernova character we've had so far, unless I'm missing something, and as always, if I am, let me know in the comment section. My point is, this is a yellow leader that needs Supernovas to be good. It's only going to be good if we've got good yellow Supernova cards. And the reality is we've got the Luffy from Starter Deck 13, which is pretty good, but there's no reason to play this leader over yellow-black Luffy right now just for that. And then the Jewelry Bonnie, which I told you the other day I think is a little underwhelming. So this is one, we're going to have to stick a pin on it. We'll come back later. Could be awesome. A lot of potential in the skill, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, as for the lore, what we've got here is a green-yellow leader, which is Dressrosa, and Supernova, and Heart Pirate. So you've got lots of different designations there. And we've got 5,000 power and obviously 4 life because we're a dual color leader. And we've got Dawn X1, activate main once per turn. If the total cost of your characters is 5 or more, So that's essentially a turn 2 play. Well, if you go first, then actually you've only had 4 Dom by turn 2, which is a bit annoying. But if you go second, then you have had, a total of 6 Dom by turn 2. So that means that this is totally on board. You can return one of your characters to your hand, reveal the top card of your life, and if it is a Supernova type character card with a cost of 5 or less, you can play it. Yeah. At least initially, this has so much more potential than Captain Eustace Kid. I'm not saying that's going to be the way it shakes out, but I'm just saying initially it is way more exciting. Here's the thing. Returning a character to your hand, yes! That's brilliant. Because returning a character to your hand could be a character with a 2k counter, which means you can then use that on your opponent's turn. And if you would have been a little bit of a counter away, well, you're now not away anymore, so you are golden. Or you can use it to reuse a play skill, so bounce the starter deck 2 lore back to your hand, and then replay it to set one of your rested characters that is Supernova or Heart Pirates with a cost of 5 or less to active, as an example. So being able to bounce a character back to your hand, either you can use it to get more counter in your hand, which is a good thing, or you can reuse it, or use it to reuse one of your on-play skills. Either way, love it. Not a downside, very much an upside. But then you get to reveal the top card of your life, and if it's a Supernova character for a cost of 5 or less, you can play it. Now, again, here we are going to need to see the yellow Supernovas, alright? We're going to need to see the yellow Supernova to really get a sense of how good this is going to be. It might end up being full-on, flat-out, proper job amazing, or it could be underwhelming if we don't get good yellow Supernova. But the difference here is that we have a bunch of Supernova characters that we can use here. Like Cavendish from EV01, that on play and when attacking, if your leader is a Supernova type and you've got no other Cavendish on the field, activate 2 Don. If you can play this card, you're probably going to play it because you activate 2 Don when you attack. It's great, and would you believe it, it is a 5 cost or less Supernova character, which means it can be played for free with this skill. Jobs are good 'un. Or the lore I just told you about from Starter Deck 2. Or the lore from OP-10 that's got blocker. And on play, you may return a character to your hand to play a character of a cost of 3 or less from your hand. But even if you just don't do that second bit, you've still got a 6k blocker coming out onto the board, and you haven't even had to pay for it. And that's kind of my point here. We have got good 5 cost or less Supernova characters already that we know we're going to want to play with this. I mean, do you remember that yellow Luffy I told you about from Starter Deck 13, which I said was a good card? Yeah, well, that just happens to be a yellow or green Supernova character with a cost of 5 or less, which means it can be played for free here using this skill. And at this point, you're probably looking at this going, well, hang on a second, Wassy. Why does Law get all the love? And yeah, because you know what? The leader Law from OP-01 was a really good leader that let you play a character for free. They had to bounce a character back just like you do here, but you know what? That was absolutely fine. And then, of course, we had the Starter Deck 10 lore, which was so good they literally had to ban it. And oh yeah, that let you play a character for free as well. Somebody over at Bandai designing these cards really likes to make broken lore leaders. And yeah. We got another one potentially here. This is incredibly strong. Like I say, the Kid could be quite good if we get good yellow Supernova. But I'm looking at Kid right now, and honestly, I'm mostly looking at this going, Law looks better. Law looks really good. Now, you have to do that yellow thing where you're putting lots of life on top of your deck, and preferably, lots of recovery, and then preferably you could even then come around and have a bit of a play with, cards that actually let you choose which one goes on top of your deck. It's not necessary. I mean, take Kazuki Hiyori, for instance, from OP-06. Now, it's not a Supernova, admittedly, But it's a 2 cost with counter plus 2k, so really good one to be bumped back to your hand with Lore skill here. And then you put the top, when you play it, put the top or bottom card of your life into your hand, and then put up to 1 card from your hand on top of your life. So essentially this lets you put the right card, a 5 cost or less Supernova of your choosing on top of your life, so that when you activate your Lore Leader skill, you know that it's going to fire. And honestly, even though it's not a Supernova, it's got a really good play skill that lets you stack your deck, and it's got counter plus 2k, so it's a perfect candidate to be bounced back to your hand when you play Lore. And like I say, it's going to make it more likely, or indeed guaranteed, that you're going to have the right character on top of your life. So, yeah, you are essentially giving up life when you do this, by the way. You are playing characters for free, and that's great, but it is being played from your life, so you have 1 less life. But honestly here, yellow plays a bunch of recovery. You should be able to get around this nice enough, and you're playing a bunch of characters for free while having a really good combination of colours here. I like this. I think Kid could be good depending on the Supernovas we get in the set. I just think Lore looks good. Lore always ends up looking good, honestly, here, but yeah. Well, the good news is we have all of our leaders now, and I've shown you the last 2, so now it's over to you guys. Do you agree with me that Lore looks redonk? Do you think Kid looks better than I do for the moment? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.